Okay, class. Hello. So, during our last meeting or our last discussion, we have discussed about the atom. And I have given you an exercise, but I was not able to tell you that we need to use the periodic table of elements to complete our table below. But I hope you figured that out already. So, we will answer the table. So, these are our givens. And then we know that our formula for this is mass number is equal to the atomic number plus the number of neutrons. Okay, dito sa symbol na given sa unang column, we have this as our mass number and this one is our atomic number as we have previously discussed. So, i-fill in natin dito sa mass number yung 52. So, here we place 52. And then, we know that the atomic number is also represents the number of protons. So, if we have 24 here as our atomic number, it automatically means that our number of protons is equal to 24. So to arrive at our number of neutrons, we will use the formula mass number is equal to atomic number plus the number of neutrons. So from transposition, we know that our number of neutrons will be equal to 52 minus 24, which is equal to 28. Now, how will we know our number of electrons? For a neutral atom like this one, since wala siyang charge, if it's positive 1, positive 2, or what, for a neutral atom, our number of electrons is equal to the number of protons. So, if we have 24 as our number of protons, we have 24 electrons. Okay? So now for this example, for the next column, we have the number of protons, which is our atomic number, and then the number of neutrons. From these two, we can compute for our mass number, which is atomic number plus the number of neutrons. So atomic number represents the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So 25 plus 30 is equal to 55. Okay, and then we have our number of electrons. Since wala namang given kung may charge yung atom natin. Oh, we have neutral species of atom here pala on our instruction. So, kung neutral yung species natin, we have equal number of protons and electrons. So, this is 25 also. So, our atomic number is 25, our mass number is 55. So, paano natin malalaman ngayon yung symbol ng atom natin? So, from the periodic table, we will see, okay, mag-zoom in tayo. So, okay, if we zoom in our periodic table of elements, and look for the atomic number 25, we have this atom, the atom of manganese. Okay, so ito yung atomic numbers natin. Okay, so ito yung symbol ng element. Okay, so we have manganese for that table. So, okay, we will write here manganese. Manganese with 55 mass number. and then 25 atomic number, just like this one. And then, yung answers natin kanina ay, here is 24, 28, 24, and 52. And then, kung neutral atom, number of protons equals number of electrons, we have 25 here. Okay, so now, next column is, we have 64 neutrons and 48 electrons. So, if we have 48 electrons, we have 48 protons also. So, our atomic number will be 48 for our atom. And looking on the periodic table, the element with the atomic number 48 is cadmium, Cd. So, let's see what our mass number would be. That is the atomic number 48 plus 64. So, it is 112. Okay. Now, next, we have our mass number. So, pwede na natin ilagay dito mass number 222. Mass number ng cadmium for this species is 112. And then, our electrons, which is equal to our number of protons, is 86. And then, our neutrons will be the mass number minus the number of protons. Yes, correct. Number of protons. So, that will be 136. 222 minus 86 is 136. So, our mass number is 222. Our atomic number is 86. So, our element number 86 with atomic number 86 is this one, radon, Rn. Kindly look on your periodic table of elements and check if we are correct. Diba, I have already instructed you before we start our class that we will be using our periodic table of elements. Okay? So, next givens are the number of protons and mass number. So, from these two, we can get the number of neutrons, which is 207 minus 82, and that is 125. For our neutral atom, we have the same number of protons again. It's 82. And then our atomic number is 82. And our mass number is 207. And our symbol is, the element with atomic number 82 is lead or Pb. Okay? So, if you have any questions or clarifications, kindly feel free to message me and we will go over this again. Okay? So, now we will continue our discussion on the atomic structure. Oh my. So, we have discussed isotopes, those atoms with the same number of protons or the same atomic number but with different mass of number of neutrons. So, we have atomic mass. This is the average atomic mass of each element in the periodic table, having the sum of the exact individual isotopes and their corresponding abundance. So, this is the formula. And that is the equivalent atomic masses. Now, we will go to the quantum numbers. This describes the designation of how electrons are distributed among various orbitals in principal shells and subshells in an atom. A shell is each division of space around the nucleus where electrons travel, and it is also called the main energy levels. Kasi kung naalala niyo yung figures natin before, we have this, the nucleus, containing the neutrons and protons. And then we have divisions which we call the shells. And these are, each division is called the main energy levels. So this is a shell, this is a shell, and they are called the main energy levels. An orbital is a particular region in space around the nucleus where the probability of finding the electron is great or greatest. We have the quantum numbers. These are set of numbers composed of the principal quantum number, designated as n, the azimuthal quantum number as L, the magnetic quantum number as M sub L, and the spin quantum number designated as M sub S. So for the principal quantum number, this gives the main energy and the size of an orbital. It is directly proportional to the energy of the orbital and the distance of the electron to the nucleus. Bali, papahapyawan lang natin siya. Medyo vague yung discussions dito, pero at least para may idea kayo. It has the integral values of 1, 2, 3, and etc. It depends. So these are the different main energy levels, the principal quantum number, n. And then now we have the azimuthal quantum number. This is also called as the angular momentum number. It defines the shape of the atomic orbital and comprises the sublevels of the principal quantum number. This has the values related to n by the equation L is equal to n minus 1. So if we have, and this can be 0, 1, 2. For n, we have 1, 2, 3. So if our n is, for example, 1, n is equal to 1, our L will be equal to 1 minus 1, and that would be 0. Okay? So, this is values designated by letters S, P, D, and F for L values equal to 0, 1, 2, and 3 respectively. So, ito yung letter designations. Actually, yung sa orbitals or quantum numbers ng mga atoms natin is, kung makikita nyo minsan sa isang periodic table, kung meron kayo ng physical periodic table, merong mga quantum numbers na nakalagay doon. So, we have So, meron tayo dun sa periodic table na tinatawag na S block, P block, D block, and F block. Okay, so mamaya i-discuss natin. So these are the different shapes of an orbital. We have the S orbital. This is the shape of our S orbital. We have this P orbital, and then the D orbital and the F orbital. Okay? So we have now the magnetic quantum number. These are the spins of the electrons inside a shell or a quantum energy level. So it has the values of negative and positive. So yan yung spin kasi ng electrons. Usually, we have 2 electrons in an energy level. So we have these values for L equals 0. We have one possible orientation only. So, isang ganito lang siya. I'm sorry. Ito yung either positive or negative. So, yan yung dalawang spins niya na possible. So, for the S orbital, we only have one orientation dahil sa size niya. And then we have 3 possible orientations for the p orbital. And this one may contain a positive or negative spin. This one also. No, this one only has one orientation, either positive or negative. This one has this orientation. This one has this orientation, and so on. So, if M sub L has values, the values B5 for L is equal to 2. So, that's the d orbital. So, if we have the sublevel 2, we have these possible orientations. Negative 2, negative 1, 0, positive 1, and positive 2. We have 5 possible orientations of our electrons. So, ito yon yung mga possible orientations. So, this, the M's, for M sub L, for values, L is equal to 3, we have 7 possible orientations. We have negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, positive 1, positive 2, and positive 3. Okay? So, yan yung 7 orientations sa F orbital. Sorry. The spin quantum number, M sub S, it defines the orientation of the electron in an orbital. So, we have positive 1/2 or negative 1/2 spin. So, this is our electric configuration. Yan yung nasa periodic table of elements minsan. 1s1, 1s2, 1s3. So this is a designation of how orbitals are filled with electrons. So this gives the total number of, pakitandaan ha, yung electronic configuration, it gives the total number of electrons in a completely filled main energy level given by the equation total electrons is equal to 2n raised to the second power. Okay. This also shows the valence and the core electrons. What do we mean by that? The valence electrons are the outermost electrons or those electrons on the highest energy level. For example, we have this atom. This is the nucleus. We have 2 energy levels. We have electrons here. Then we have electrons here. Okay, so our valence, this is the last or the outermost energy level. This is called our valence electrons. Okay? Yung valence, nasa labas siya. Okay? And for our core electrons, it is the rest of the electrons other than the valence electrons. So, if these are our valence electrons, yung nasa labas, this means that itong nasa loob, yung our core electrons na tinatawag. Okay? So, please, pakitandaan valence electrons and core electrons. So, this is an example of an electronic configuration. So, this shows the valence and the core electrons. Itong mga numerals na raised to the or superscripts, it represents number of electrons. Okay, so let's check. So, we have how many electrons? Kung ito yun, 2, 4, 6, 8, 14 plus 2, tama ba? 2, 4, 10, 12, 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. We have a total of 20 electrons in this given example. But our core electrons are those electrons in other than the valence electrons. So, ito yung pinaka-highest energy level natin, yung 4. 4s2. Our highest energy level is 4s with 2 electrons. on the outermost shell. Etong mga remaining electrons na may encircled with red are our core electrons. So they are 2 plus 2, 4 plus 6, 10 plus 2, 12 and plus 6 is equal to 18 electrons. And our valence electron, yung nasa outermost shell, is equal to 2 electrons. Okay? So, I'll give you time to process. Basta, para malaman nyo kung ilan yung total number of electrons, bibilangin nyo lang yung mga superscripts. And para malaman nyo yung kung alin ang valence or nasa pinakalabas, hanapin nyo yung outermost energy level, yung pinakamataas na energy level, which is 4s. Siya yung nasa pinakalabas. So, that contains our valence electrons. And the rest are called as our core electrons. So, that electronic configuration is guided by the following principles. We have the Aufbau or building block principle, the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, and the Pauli's exclusion principle. So, in Aufbau principles, it states that in filling orbitals with electrons, orbitals with the lowest energy levels are filled first. Siyempre, sila yung pinaka mababa, sila muna yung mafe-fill. This is guided by the N plus L rule where the lower sum is prioritized. So, the subshells contain different maximum number of electrons depending on their shape. So, depending on the shape, if we have s orbital, we have one orientation, so we can have 2 electrons there. For example, this is our s orbital. It can contain maximum number of 2 electrons. So, sa isang block na ganito, ang maximum na pwede niyang i-contain na electrons ay 2. So, sa bawat isang orientation, we have 1 block, for example. So, this is 1, we have 3 here. So, we have 3 blocks. Since each block can contain 2 electrons, the maximum total of electrons that can be contained in the p orbital is 6 electrons. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, that's how we fill up the orbitals with electrons. So, for 5, usually we just multiply it by 2 since 1 block can contain 2 electrons. Okay? And then, the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. In filling the degenerate orbitals with electrons, each orbital is half-filled, okay? Please remember this, half-filled with 1 electron each before they are filled with any electrons in excess. Katulad yung ginawa ko kanina sa p orbital, meron tayong 3 blocks. So, according to the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, half-filled muna natin siya. For example, we have 5 electrons na ilalagay natin sa p orbital na to. So, in filling up these blocks, we will apply the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity in filling it half-filled first. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, with 1 electron each before they are filled with any electrons in excess. Since we have 2 excess electrons pa, we have 4, and then we have 5. So, that is how we fill the electronic configuration using the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. And then stability, because that stability decreases from fully filled to half-filled orbitals. So, ang theory na to, para makakuha tayo ng stability is we use this Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. So, for Pauli's exclusion principle, in filling orbitals with electrons, each orbital is filled with electrons of opposite spins. It implies that no two electrons can have exactly the same set of quantum numbers. So, yung pag-fill up ko kanina, kung napansin nyo sa isang block is like this. And then like this. Because they are of opposite, it means or it represents that those electrons have opposite spins, a negative and a positive spin. Okay? So this is an example of an electronic configuration. We have this 1s with only one orientation, 2s, 2p. So, ito yung mga S blocks natin. Yung 1s, isa lang. Yung first energy level, we only have one orientation. The second, we have, okay. So, yan yung electronic configuration na ginagamit natin. And this, this is an example. So, first, actually, meron yan arrow dun sa periodic table of elements natin. So, papuntang ganon, and then, pag ganon. So, we have 1s, 2s, 2p, 3, 6. Yan yung pagkakasunod-sunod natin. 3s, 3p, 4s, then 3d. Then, 4p, ganyan yung may arrows dyan, dun, kung makikita nyo yan, dun sa periodic table of elements nyo. So, ito yung pagkakasunod-sunod niya. Okay? Ayun, meron naman pala ipapakita na arrow. I'm so sorry. Okay? So, yan yung pagkakasunod-sunod niya. Hindi siya kay 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, hindi siya. So, susundin natin yung arrows na to sa paggawa natin ng electron configuration. And, sa pag-fill up ng electrons, we have for s is less or equal than 2, less or equal than 6 sa p, and sa d, less or equal than 10. Ibig sabihin, ang maximum niya is 2, maximum of 6, maximum of 10, and maximum of 14, depending on the S, P, D, F energy level. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, now. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Sa periodic table of elements, may representation yung S block natin, yung D block natin, P block, and F block. Ibig sabihin, etong part na to, hanggang ang last subshell niya is nasa S. Kapag gumawa tayo ng electronic configuration. For example, let's pick lithium, for example, you have lithium. Ibig sabihin, nasa S block siya, and then nasa second energy, this is the first energy level, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. So, since nasa S block siya, and then nasa second main energy level, ibig sabihin, yung last main energy level niya is nasa 2S. So, meron tayong 1S, 2, and then 2s, ilan yung atomic number niya is 3. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong 3 protons and 3 electrons. So, kung na-filled up na yung 1s niya ng 2 electrons, we have 1s, 2, then 2s, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin 2 kasi magiging 4 na electrons niya. Meron lang siyang atomic number na 3. Ibig sabihin, meron lang siyang 3 electrons also. So, meron tayong 1s, 2, 2s, 1. So that makes the electrons of lithium 3. Number of electrons for lithium is 3. So ano yung valence electron niya? Ilan yung valence electron? I mean, ito yung highest energy level. So we have 1 valence electron and we have 2 core electrons. Okay? So say for example, we have boron next. So hindi siya umabot sa D block. We have only P block, and then on the second energy level. Ito yan kasi 1, 'di ba? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So nasa 2 tayo energy level. Pero dumaan siya syempre sa 1s2. Sa 1s, 1s2. Ang boron ay merong atomic number na 5. Ibig sabihin, meron siyang 5 electrons. Okay, so we have 1s2. And then, ano susunod sa 1s? We have 2s2. 2s2. And then, 2p. Ilan yung electrons niya sa highest energy level? We only have 5 electrons. Meron na siyang 2, 4. Ibig sabihin, we only have 1 here. 2p1. So, ang number ng valence electron niya ay 1 sa highest energy level, which is 2p. And, ang core electrons niya ay 4. Okay? So, let's try this exercise. Identify the set of quantum numbers for the lone electron of hydrogen atom. So, this is the electronic configuration 1s1, and we have this orbital diagram. So, there, we have 1s1 for hydrogen, okay? For lithium atom, identify the set of quantum numbers for each electron of lithium atom. So, ito yung electronic configuration ng lithium atom. And this is the diagram it represents. So, we have 1 valence electron and 2 core electrons. I think, hindi na natin gagawin yung exercise na to dahil medyo set of quantum numbers na yung pinapa-identify dito. We'll just go over them para makita nyo lang yung electronic configuration. For fluorine, we have 9 atomic number. So, let's count there. The electrons here in this electronic configuration, we have 2, 4, 9. So, let's see. This is the orbital diagram. If you can see, ito yung half-filled siya, pero since ang kailangan lang natin dito is 5, meron tayong kulang na isang electron dito. Okay? So, these are our valence electrons for fluorine, I mean. Okay, so let's check. So, yung next topic is the development of the periodic table. So, gagawin natin yung next meeting na lang. I want you to review the development of the periodic table. I will give you a classwork on your Google Classroom, on our Google Classroom, and kindly answer it, the Google form, and then turn it in para may ma-check ako. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any questions, clarifications, or additional information, kindly feel free to message me and para ma-answer ko yung mga queries nyo. Okay? Thank you, class, and please keep safe and stay healthy. Thank you.